Hello, I'm Steve. Thank you for visiting the Patio Heat channel where we provide visual concepts of infrared heating as well as tips for ideal patio comfort. Check out our patioheat.com website for sales and more information. Please tap that like button if you find this video useful, as it helps others find our channel. Now let's get heating. Alright, so here we have this residential application, and there are two different areas that they're considering heating, one being this dining space over here in the center, and then on the right here, just a reclining area. This place here is well covered. It's got basically, we'll call it 2.5 walls and then a ceiling. We do have a ceiling fan, some lighting up here, windows, and both doors I believe swing inwards, so the doors are not an issue. Anything else? I think that's about it. And then on this side here, the things that we have to be concerned about would be the eave, the window, and also there is a gutter system, rain gutter system here. So I don't have that modeled, but it is physically there. All right, so let's see what else we could look at. I think that's probably about it. All right, let's look at the dimensions. Dimensions overall. So these could be a little bit off, maybe an inch or a half inch, something like that. But this inside wall here I have at 11.5 to the back wall here, and then total 18 out to the edge of the ceiling up here. And then I have a 9'8" ceiling height. I have the eave at the same elevation. You can also see 13.2 and 3/8 from this edge to this edge here. That might be off an inch or so. And then we have a fan. Now the fan blade I have at 5 feet. You can see that my blades actually stick out a little bit further than the 5-foot mark right here, this 5-foot diameter. So the circle would be the diameter, the true diameter, I believe, of the fan. And then also I have it at, we'll call it 1 foot 10 inches off of the top ceiling, the bottom of the fan blades, I believe. I have it right here matching the center because that's the only way my program will grab a hold of the element there. So anything else? Again, the lighting here, I just matched the lighting on the plan here, drew a line from the center of each one of these and plopped it up here into the ceiling, and same with the fan, just drew a line from the center point up to the middle, and that's where I got my positions for those. They also mentioned that they do have some beams going across in the ceiling. Sorry, I faded in the terminology of that. But in any case, there are some in there. So we'll consider where you could place some recessed heaters if that was something that you're interested in. Joist is the word I was looking for. All right, so let's turn off these dimensions. I didn't put the dimensions out here because I don't think it's very useful with this overall space here. We can only do so much here, and I'll show you what that is. So let's turn off the dimensions. All right, so the first option is going to be with the Slimline. This is something that they were sort of interested in, I believe. So Slimline units. These are 4,000 watt, 240 volts. And I have them basically centered within the space, and I believe I have them positioned so I can get them as close to the center of the room as possible without compromising the clearances to combustibles. So let's go ahead and look at the clearances, and these are the below clearances. So as you can see here with this, I think this is a 30-degree angle. I have them just at the point where I'm not making contact with the fan. Now on this side here, however, it's a little bit different as far as I don't believe this lamp or fan is directly in the center of the space, but it might be. But in any case, with these, you can see that I think I am penetrating that. If I put up my dimensions again, you'll see that I'm not penetrating that. So this is going to be a questionable item, whether this will fit or not. Just something to consider. I think we'll be okay if we use these as far as the placement. We're missing the back wall, and there's no issue with regards to the wall over here as well. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the footprint of heat. I'm going to turn off those dimensions and clearances, and go ahead and look at the this is the output, the ray output. Now 4,000 watt, this is in a colder area. I think it's in the northern western area of the United States. So you can see here that the coverage is fairly well. I think this would be okay. We're not penetrating the seats as much as I would like to on the outer edge here, but that might be just something you have to sacrifice in order to, you know, accomplish placing just a few heaters up here. You could put another heater over here and one over there, but I think that would be overkill. If we're looking over here, you can see I even have the table off center as far as left to right, but this chair here is getting hit, and going back over here, this one's just not. So just something to keep in mind. Now I would probably think that this would be, again, okay. It's not my ideal application. I just don't think that this would be enough heat. I think this is like 147 square feet. Yeah, I have it out here, 146 square feet, which would call for actually, if you were in Southern California in a cold area, I would say at least, you know, 4 of these units to heat up this whole area. Now the square footage I'm looking at isn't the whole entire space. I just drew a line from here to over here and got my square footage. That way I am including this space here as well. So yeah, it's a little bit cooler for what I would consider the ideal amount of heat, but this might be what they have available to them as far as amperage for these units. So now the second option, let me turn that off here and go ahead and turn these heaters off. The second option would be to place a CD 6024 in the same location. Again, we have that issue with regards to the clearances below. I'm at the clearance back here. I'm at the clearance over here on this back, but you can see with the wider unit, this is 8 inches wide, where the other one's 3. So you can see here that we are penetrating that, and over here, I think we're, whoops, sorry about this, penetrating it a little bit more here. So again, with the dimensions that I had used, you can see this one is actually penetrating the dimension here, so that may not work for this application. You could consider changing out the fan so that you have a steel bladed fan, and that steel bladed fan would be considered non-combustible, so something to think about. All right, so that would be the CD 6024, 6,000 watt, 240 volts. Those are 25 amps a piece, so it takes a lot more power. Let's go ahead and look at the footprint of heat. And you can see here we got a much more ample amount of heat. So like if you were to, again, look at the BTU demand, it would demand out somewhere in the nature of 2.1 heaters for the space here. And again, we still have that issue with, you know, regards to hitting the outer chair here. So that might be an issue, but something to consider. All right, and also I'll just take this here and I'm going to just delete this unit for a moment so you can see how that would work out. You know, I think it would be okay with one unit, but you know, again, we're not really concentrating on heating up this space over here. I think one unit would be okay, but if you're going to put in electrical for this application, I would consider doing enough for heating the whole space. That way you can utilize this space differently throughout the year and holidays, etc. All right, so I'm going to put that back, and we're going to go ahead and look at some other option or a possible different option. There we go. And the next option I'm going to show would be the Slimline with placing them on this side. So from here to here, placing it from, you know, this direction or parallel with perpendicular to this wall, you're getting a little bit better of a footprint, overall coverage, I think. and we don't have the issue. We can push the heater a little bit further out from the fan blades, so because we have plenty of clearance back here as well. You can see that, and we'll just turn on the clearances so you can see that. And there's plenty of space here, plenty of space in front. Now, obviously I don't have them aligned with the lighting. You may want to just have that aligned. I don't think it's going to interfere with the output of the light. There might be a possible, depending on what the output of the light is, there could be a possible shadow that's produced, but I think that would be okay if you had them lined up with the lighting, and then you'd still get a good, you know, crossover ray here in the middle, so that would be a nice space over here. And let's go ahead and turn off those clearances, and we'll go ahead and look at what a CD would look like in the same position. So that would be what a CD would look like, and I think that would be much more ample power. I would consider the CDs 6024s more than the Slimline just because of the output. I just don't encourage placing equipment out there where it isn't really producing what you're looking for. So that's why I like the CD 6024 in this kind of application better, because of the climate. All right, so we'll go ahead and turn that out. I want to also mention that they did say the joists up here are 16-inch centers, I believe is what they said. Let me just confirm that I have that on here. And so there's our, whoops. Yeah, so there's our 16-inch centers, and you can put a flush mount kit in here. So that is something that's possible, and you know, put a flush mount kit. The flush this would be a 1 hour rated firewall. I just put that up here just to see that it would fit between the 16-inch joists, and they do. So you can put one physically there. I have them between, you know, the lighting up here, and the only problem with that is you can't angle the heater like this. So it would have to point straight down, and then you would have an empty space here in the middle as far as the footprint of heat. So you're not going to be heating up the center, you know, right where this fan blade is here, basically. So that's why I didn't put those there, but it is available, and it would look a lot nicer. But again, I don't recommend things that don't function as well, and that's just my opinion. So all right, let's go ahead and we'll leave that on for right now, and I'll look at this outer edge here. So with the window here and the eave, and I don't know the actual distance between the window height here and the bottom of the eave, so I just placed it haphazardly there. You know, we can look at that and see what that truly is on my drawing, and we'll go here, and we can see that it's just 10 foot, excuse me, 10 and a half inches, and it could be an inch off or two. It doesn't really matter, but there is also a rain gutter system here, and that would be an issue. That would be the only place that we can mount it. If we mounted it on the wall here, even if this eave is like recessed here, I don't have it recessed, I just have it flat right there. You couldn't put a heater right here and without putting it in front of the window. So there's just no way to mount a heater here unless we put it on the eave itself, and that would be a problem with the gutter system. So what I did was went ahead and put the heater outside here. This is the Slimline. You can see the reach of the Slimline. Now I have this at a 65-degree angle from out, 65 degrees down, and I also had to bring the brackets out, so you'd have to get the extended brackets for this application in order to meet the clearances. The clearances below are the big issue, so if we brought this, and I should put both clearances on here because they're both issues actually, but if I put this all the way here, then I'm engaging the clearance issue here and here. I'm not quite sure exactly what the dimensions of this lattice work is here, but I don't know that this angle is truly like that, but we do penetrate here. So I have it at the 65 and extended brackets. I have it extended out at 4 inches. You might go with 2. So the brackets choices are 2, 4, 6 inch extensions further than the OEM that comes in the box itself. the OEM bracket, that is. All right, and you can see the footprint of heat is, to me, not acceptable. I wouldn't go this route. It's just, you know, you're barely heating up this chair here and this chair here. And in the photo I received, there was no chairs here, but on this layout here, they had indicated they wanted to sit out there. And then, of course, this one here is really not getting hit as well, so something to consider. All right, so that would be the one option, and then the Slimline, or excuse me, this would be, that was the first one was a Slimline, and this would be the CD 6024 option. Here you're getting a lot better heat coverage in, you know, at least this space and this space. Again, you can't really get that angle down without compromising the clearance here. You would have to come up with some way of engaging the bracket to this piece here. And obviously the bracket itself is a lot longer or taller, and you'd have to get the extended bracket as well for this application. But you can see the footprint of heat is just much better. If you're sitting out here, I wouldn't say this is acceptable, even though the ray is coming out here. It looks like it is, but this wouldn't be the most acceptable spot here, but I would be comfortable here and potentially here. So, all right, well, I hope this has helped. If you're looking for some assistance with your outdoor heating application, please send your information to designs@patioheat.com. I'm Steve. Again, please tap that like button. We do not advertise, we don't monetize. Therefore, YouTube will not support our channel unless we receive your appreciation. Thank you very much and have a great day.